All right, all right, all right. How y'all doing? How you doing? How you doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, good people. It's Talking Out Tuesday on the Noontime My Time podcast. So you know what that means. I'll be in the building. You know that means Miss Tori gonna be in the building. Because why? Because there's some things that we just need to talk out, some things that we need to talk about. And today's subject is we're going from small talk to big connections because we need to be asking certain questions. We're mastering the art of getting to know someone. You know, you could probably think about like, okay, well, I don't want people asking me all those questions, or I don't really want to ask people all those questions. Well, you need to be asking questions. If it sounds like an interrogation, I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think there are things that you need to know. And if you're right here, right now, when you are listening, go ahead and start thinking about some of those questions that you think are important to ask when you're getting to know someone, when you're out here in these dating streets. What are some important things that you need to be asking? We need to know. It's the Noontime My Time podcast. All right. You're in here, and it's Tuesday. If you're just getting in, I've already told my good people who joined me already. I already told them Happy Tuesday, but I'm getting ready to tell you Happy Tuesday. We got a conversation that we're going to have today. We are trying to figure out what are the questions that we need to be asking. Because there's questions that we need to be asking when we're out here in these dating streets. I got Tori who's going to be coming up very soon, but before we get into the conversation, there's just something that we need to do. I know I need it because I had a heck of a weekend. That's right, I did. So let's do what you need. Let's do what I need. What I want you to do is inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to exhale. And we'll hold that for a few seconds. And we'll repeat that a few times. Now, you can close your eyes if you're in a place that you can do that. I don't want you to do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're actually sitting at the desk. If you got your head pods on and you're taking a listen, we'll vibrate with us and listen. But if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. You want to take it a step further, put your hands over your heart and feel that you are alive. That's you. Let's get into it. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. One more time. Let's inhale. Hold it a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Doesn't that feel great? Ooh. Oh, yeah. Feels real good. I see we got somebody already in the building. We got Renee Finch in the building. Sending the heart out. We're sending a whole lot of love back to you. We are getting to know people. And when getting to know a person, there's a whole lot that is involved. When you're getting to know that person that you're dating, that involves asking a range of questions so that you can understand them better, so that you can build a connection and determine if you're compatible. But the question here that I'm asking, are we asking the right questions? What are some of the questions that we should be asking? And we're going to chat about that today. All right. It's the Noontime My Time podcast. It is Talk It Out Tuesday with Tori and MsTonya. And I said Tori and MsTonya. What's up, Tori?
What it do? What it do? What it do?
We
I'm
back in
still
these internet streets.
listen. First, let me just say I enjoyed you guys this past weekend. Them Wilson Tigers. Listen, y'all did the thing. I had me a ball with those Wilson Tigers. I am an adopted Wilson Tiger. I'm originally a Golden Bear, of course, but I have been adopted by those Wilson Tigers, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed you guys. I'm still trying to catch up on my rest. So.
I am too. Let me tell you something. I think my voice is finally coming back now. I'm sitting up here drinking. I'm drinking a cup of tea right now, and I'm behind this talk bubble because listen, I didn't even feel like getting dressed today. I'm still tired. I
You should be.
I am. Hey, I can't do it like I used to do it back in them, those a couple decades ago. I could do all of them and almost party 24, 36 hours. Girl, that party ain't the same. I got to take naps in between this thing.
Listen, them Wilson Tigers. Listen, there's a couple of my Wilson Tigers that go to church with me. One in particular. Every time it's Wilson homecoming week, she be like, "Man, team no sleep." I say, "No, you team no sleep over there. I gotta have me a nap." I was like, "I gotta have me a nap." Oh
I
no.
know, but listen, it was so much fun. Like I think I had more fun this year than I've had I have fun every year, don't get me wrong. But this year I just really had a lot of fun. And I paced myself, so maybe that's why. I paced myself a lot more and
Yeah.
I didn't commit myself to as many events as I typically commit myself to. So it was great. It really was.
Right.
Um the old school party. Oh my gosh. The old school
What?
party. First of all, let me say this and then we'll talk about it. First of all, I want to thank everybody who came out to the Wilson Tigers old school digging in the craze homecoming dance. Big thanks to you guys. That's coming from Joy, that's coming from myself. That's just giving a whole lot of love to the whole team that is involved. When Joy and I were talking about it and it was an easy yes for me because I got to let's be honest. When you guys went in there, everything was really, really nice. I knew it would be. Anytime doing anything with Joy, you know that it is going to be a really classy type of an affair, you know? And we just wanted to make sure that we made you feel that nostalgia, that you were comfortable. And listen, that's what it was. Shouts out to the bartenders. Big shout out to DJ Styles, DJ Prince Ice. And of course, let me bring you back in here, Tori. Chubb Rock was in the building.
Yes, indeed. And listen, he is one of the most humble people. Oh my God, he's just so humble. He was nice to everyone. People
Everybody.
taking pictures because some celebrities they'll be like, but he was just so humble. Everybody want to take pictures, and he was just so cool, taking pictures with everybody,
But
talking to everybody. That was cool to me. That was
yeah.
cool to me. That's the second time I've been in the midst of some celebrities before, and that's the second time that I've actually see that occur. The first time was Kurt Franklin. Kurt Franklin is down to earth, but Chubb was really cool. I really enjoyed it. Here's a whole vibe.
He is.
It was really dope.
It was just so awesome. And just the whole energy of the night was awesome. I hear baby pulling on that mic. Baby, come on now. I know the behind the even though we behind these talk bubbles, I can see what's going on. But I'm gonna tell you something. You're right. He is definitely one of the most humble, one of the easiest persons to get along with. He just was comfortable there with us. He was comfortable with everybody. And he was showing us a lot of mad love too. He I think he was shocked. He just couldn't believe how hard we were going and how like we just knew like all of the words. Like
Right.
everybody was really having a good time. I hadn't had a good time like that in a long time.
Right. And you know what else I thought was pretty dope? The fact that he just chilled for like an hour and some change. You know, some celebrity they ain't coming out till it's time for them to do their thing. He chilled for like about an hour before
He
before
did. He
I
was
thought
there
that
in
was
the mix.
cool.
He was. He was right there in the party with us, and that was just awesome. It really was. I see we got some people already. What are these people talking about, Tori?
It was. What's up, Cynthia? She said, "Hello, Cynthia's here with you. What's up? What's up? What's up, girl? How you
All
doing?"
right, hey lady.
And And Renee says, I'm in my robe still. Listen, it's all good. It's all good.
And you know,
It is
it don't make no sense for us not to be dressed and it's already lunchtime. But some of us can do that. You know, if we working at home.
right, right. Exactly.
But this question here,
Exactly.
this question that I'm asking here today, you know, I thought it would be all right, baby. All right, all right. You better go ahead. You
Right.
better mute. I'm going to ask you guys this. You know, we're getting to know people, and we know that dating involves a lot, and a lot of people not asking the right questions, and so that's how you end up not really knowing who you're dating. So I don't know why you're afraid to ask those things, and a little bit of me want to ask the question, like, first of all, on this dating scene. So before you even get to asking your questions, like, are you guys out here shooting your shot? I want to know if you're out here shooting your shot because you're going to have to approach someone first. You've got to approach people if you intend to be on this scene. You got to. You can't be afraid. A lot of people are afraid. They're afraid of that rejection. Some people are afraid of rejection and some people are waiting for selection. But I don't know why you should be. If you are, you think about this. That rejection is more like a redirection. So take that. Take that. Shoot your shot. If it miss, it's okay. You know, all the great ball players, all of them, they're practicing their shot. They miss a whole lot of shots. We only talk about and we celebrate the ones that they make, but there's a whole lot of shots there that are missed. So I want us to kind of get out of that fear zone. Get out of that fear zone. Stop thinking about that rejection and get out here and take that shot and don't even worry about those results. Stop being scared. All right. You're thinking about what if this person says no? Well, what if they say yes? What if they say yes? And after all of that, once you shoot your shot and you got to start learning to know, you got to find out who this person is. Well, there's questions that you should be asking out here. I want you guys to get in these comments and I want you to know, I want you to let us know, what do you think some of those questions should be? I mean, we know that you're asking like some of the basic stuff. You're asking like their name. You want to know where they're from, where they're living. You know, some of their siblings. Those are easy things. Those are easy things. You're asking easy things like their hobbies. We know you're doing that, but you got to dig deeper. You know what I'm saying? Is what I'm saying making sense, Tori? Come in here and let me know.
Yes, it's making a lot of sense. We got to ask those deep underlying questions. Like one of the things that I typically like to ask, I'll ask about their faith. I'll ask about how is their relationship with their mother, if they have children, their relationship with their children. I'll ask about past childhood trauma. I asked some deep questions. Oh, look at this question. Cynthia said, is there another one? You might want to ask that too. Are you single? Are you married? But if you single, is you single, not single and dating?
Well, hey, let's stop right here for a minute. You okay. Let's stop right here. Is there another woman? And what you said, you was like, are you married?
Mhm.
Or are you dating someone else? So I want to ask this question. If they are dating and you're on the dating scene, is it okay for them to be dating someone else? Because isn't dating? What's your thought on that? Because my thought is dating is dating. You're getting to know this person. I feel like that's a valid question to ask, but I don't think that there should be an expectation that they aren't dating anyone else. Because if it's someone that you find attractive, if it's someone that you feel has it going on, um, I would think that they might be dating someone if they're healthy and they're not like on some type of, if something is not wrong with them. You dig what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But Cynthia said, if you are, she said, if so, I'm out. Okay.
Right. Peace. Deuces.
It's a process.
So, but see, so many people define dating differently. Dating for me may not be the same for other people, but I've learned that when you're dating, you can be having conversations and going out to lunch or dinner with multiple people. Now, some people make the choice to, and y'all, that's the baby in the rattle. But some people make the choice to, when they're dating, they also are doing other things, which I don't think you should be doing if you're just dating. You should only do other things when you are exclusive and when you're married. But that's not how the way the world is now.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. And really what I want to say about that is, I feel like if you're dating, it really is that's a process of getting to know people, a process of, I don't necessarily want to say elimination. I feel like it's a process of selection. So you're dating different people and you're getting to know different people, or having conversation, or should I say entertaining different people, because you need to figure out which one of these persons that you truly might be able to have a relationship with, because it might not be that way with everyone. You can get to know someone and maybe a friendship develops out of that. You could be getting to know someone and maybe you decide like, hey, this isn't really somebody that I really want to know. Or it may be someone that you might end up doing business with. So every person that we get to know doesn't necessarily turn into a romantic relationship. And I'm not one to say that you have to be dating one person. Now I also want to say that just because you're dating, I think the bigger what people are thinking is, because people are dating multiple people, they might be thinking that people are having sex with multiple people. And that is not the same. And we should not be thinking that way.
That you right. But here's the thing. Now that we brought that subject up, that is one of the questions that you ask when you're dating. Body count, does that matter? Is that a question that you ask when you're dating someone, and does it matter?
Well, hey, if it matters to you, yes, you should ask that question. You should ask that question. I think when the relationships approach, obviously that may or may not. I don't know where your mindset is, but that may or may not be one of the first questions that you ask. Or I'll speak for myself. That isn't necessarily one of the first questions that I ask, because I don't even know if I'm going to be engaged with this person in any type of sexual relationship at this point. I really am getting to know them. So sex is not really questions that I'm asking in the beginning. Now, when you feel like it could go there, I think that you should have those conversations before you have sex. Those are questions that you need to have before, clothes are coming off, or before it gets close enough for clothes to come off. You need to have sexual type of questions. Besides body count, I feel like you need to be talking about sexual health. Uh, does this person have or have had any type of STDs? Um, because that is a factor. Herpes is very popular out here. Many people have herpes. Although it's not something that is going to kill you, but I feel like it is something that you should know. You definitely should tell people something like that if you have any type of issues. So sexual questions are important, but I feel like that's more into the relationship. And for me, body count goes in with that. But that's just me.
That was gonna be the next thing I said when it in body count and the your sexual health. That was gonna be the thing too.
Mhm.
Because before, this is just me, like before you should engage in any type of activity with someone, first, of course, it has to be a committed relationship. And secondly, for me, if it's a committed relationship and we choose to make that route, are we going to together to get tested? That's just me.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that may just be me. Can we take a test together? Now, if you deny taking a test to, then that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's telling you, that's giving you a lot of information right there. So the whole idea is that you need to ask, you need to put it out there. So their answer and their response actually is an answer. But there's a whole lot of questions. I see we got Stanford in here today. He says, "Good afternoon, ladies. What's today's topic?" Well, our topic is, man, we're asking like what questions should be asking? We need to be asking questions when we're getting to know people. So you need to ask questions. And maybe people might feel like they're being interrogated. But you're not. These are things that you should want to know. I see we got Renee Finch here. She is one of her questions, what she thinks is what they value in a relationship and prioritize in relationships. Tori, that's a good one. That's good. What people
That's real good. Put that one
value.
back up there a second. That's real good. Woo! Because you can, like, let me tell you one thing about me. When I'm talking to someone, I pay attention to their language, the type of words that they use. And I'm one of those, you know how what's the word? Sapiosexual. I'm attracted to intelligence. If you open your mouth and when you open your mouth, like, you be fine as I don't know what, but when you open your mouth and the words that you say, that can be a deal breaker for me. if I
Yeah.
if you show me that you're not that very intelligent, that's a deal breaker for me.
Hmm.
But what are your values? I pay attention to, when I'm on dates, how you're treating people, like the hostess, the waiter. I'm paying attention to all of that, and how you treat people in general. Because if you mistreat different people, I'm wondering how are you going to treat me. I pay attention to all of that.
All right, all right, all right. It's the Noontime My Time podcast. We are asking dating questions. Dating questions. You need to know who they are. And if you want to know who they are, you need to be asking the right questions. I see a lot of people who have already joined us. Go ahead and make sure that we get these likes up so that more people can join the conversation so that they know that we are bringing you a little bit of edutainment, as they like to call it. We bringing you edutainment and a little bit of conversation, grown folks conversations, things we should be talking about. That was a good one. I agree with you. Renee said that why they value relationships and how they prioritize relationships. That's very important because number one, that's going to let you know where you may stand should it go any further. Now, Renee's got some good questions coming in here. She also says why their last relationship didn't work out. That is a very good question, and that is very, very telling. Often, if I'm listening to someone and they're always saying like very negative things about their ex, and they're making it seem, or they're telling the story and it seems that they are the victim of this relationship, that puts a little flag up for me. That really puts a little flag up for me because a relationship is a two-way street. They can't just be blaming everything on the former partner. They had to have something to do with what happened. So I'm listening to that. I'm listening to whether or not they're playing the victim because that tells me a lot. I don't know. What do you think about that, Tori?
I agree totally, because I was actually looking at a question. It's like the last question is far down, but that was one of the questions that I see Katasha put in the comments. And what Katasha said, that's how I was feeling. She said, said, how do you feel about your ex? Do you respect them, hate them, especially if you have kids together?
Ooh.
And that was one of the things for me, Tanya.
Mhm.
If you are constantly talking bad about your ex, that is definitely a red flag for me. And then if I see where you are constantly changing people, you're with this person one minute, you're with that person the next, I'll pay attention to all that. I was like, it ain't them, it's you.
Yeah.
It's you. You the problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it sounds like. They want to make
Yeah.
themselves seem like they're a victim. And I'm not falling for that because, like I said, it's a relationship involves two people. And I like this last part of Katasha's question, where she said she hate them, especially. No, she said, "Do you respect them or do you hate them, especially if you have kids?" Now, that's important because even though this person is your ex, if you have children together, you are going to have a relationship, whether you are romantically linked or not. And I think that is important for your children. And I don't want to be involved with someone who doesn't respect their children or their ex enough to get along and to be cordial. You know what I'm saying? Because we're just talking about just basic, just be cordial. Your kid, if you're not
Right.
together, it didn't work out, okay. But show your kid that you can be respectable people because you need to be showing your kid how to be. You need to be showing your kid if a relationship doesn't work out, well, you can go on. You can go on in a respectable way. You can meet and be respectable with each other because you have to raise this child. You should never be talking about the other parent in a negative way. So that's important. And if a person is in a I'm getting to know them and they're talking about their ex in a negative way, that's telling me like how you're going to talk about me if this doesn't work out. So that's how I feel about it. But we got
Eh,
AYS who we got at your service in the building. That's Cash.
yes. What's up? How you doing, sir? And he also said body count really doesn't matter. Health, yes, absolutely.
Hmm. I
And
got
I
it.
was a go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to say something before I forget my thought. When you were saying about when you're talking about your ex, I actually had a conversation with an ex-wife of someone I was dating. And she was concerned about me and that person dating, and she had some things to say. I said, wait, bump your brakes. I say, first of all, I have nothing to do with what you guys, what you went through, what, were y'all relation. That's none of my business. But I will say this, you have to remain cordial because you guys have children together. And then the ex-wife went on and said, well, I told my child that the father XYZ. I said, see, that's where you mess up too. I said, you should not be talking negatively about your ex to their children and forming a wedge between their parent and their child. You should not be doing that. You should not involve kids in grown-ups drama. And I said, it's not my business. All I would encourage you to do is have a cordial relationship with with your ex, because you have to co-parent. So that's my main concern. And she was looking at me like, oh, okay. And just,
Absolutely.
but you want to tell me all the stuff y'all went through. That's none of my business. All I'm concerned is making sure you guys co-parent together and stop calling my phone.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, you dealt with that quite well because if I'm just getting to know a person and their ex is calling me, that's really a red flag too, because I realize you got a crazy ex. I'm wondering like that almost sound like, girl, you in danger. Yeah.
Listen,
You didn't see that movie, Single White Female?
I
Girl,
did.
shoot.
I did.
Mm-mm. If you got a crazy ex, stay away from me. That's all I'm trying to say.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. I like the comments that are coming in
Hmm.
from Cynthia saying, no, I'm trying to get to know him, so he's got to be focusing on me.
Cynthia,
Yeah.
stop being selfish. What about you? Why don't you learn some other people too? Because you go through all of that. You singly date this person, right? You
Hmm.
singly date this person and you realize you wasted a whole lot of time because this is not really the right choice for me. Whereas if you had a couple of selections to choose from, I feel like you can make a better selection. And think about this, like when we watch these dating shows, what is it, Bachelorette and Bachelor and all of these things are Ready to Love. The reason why they have several people on there and they're going out and getting to know several people at one time is because you have to figure out who is the best option for you. You know, I don't know necessarily that I can get myself in a place where I say he needs to be focusing on me. You're going to focus on me once we've made a decision that we're in this thing together and we're looking to go beyond getting to know each other. But no, I'm not feeling that way, and he better not be feeling that way about me. The truth be told. Oh, I already did that one there. So what else we got going on? Give me a timestamp, Tori.
12:25.
All right, all right, all right. Let me go down here and see what's going on. All right.
And Anthony says there's always two sides to every story.
Absolutely.
And I like what DJ Showtime said as well. I love all of my exes. We're all friends.
That's
I
pretty
like that.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm cordial. Like I don't hate any of my exes. Now I do have a couple that I just don't communicate with anymore, and not because it's hate, but just the way that like if I feel that there was some type of disrespect in the way that the relationship ended, then I just leave it alone. Like we're not getting ready to go through any drama necessarily, but I'm just not going to communicate with that person anymore because I realize that they don't hold a high value of respect for me, and I'm not going to pretend. And it's over, so it's over. And if it's a relationship and we don't have any kids and no kids are involved, then there's no reason for me to really talk to you anymore. Now, for someone who is respectful and we parted ways and we realize that it's not going to work, or if we can just be kind to each other, well, yeah, I can see that person. We can talk. Now, we're not getting ready to be best friends, but it can be that. It could be that.
At your services, I'm well, thank you. How about yourself?
We
I don't know if
doing
you
good, Cash. We miss you. You usually in here with us a lot of the times. Good to have you back in these internet streets with us.
right. And Sanford Smith says it's important to take your time and get to know the person you are in a relationship with because hopefully that relationship will lead to marriage. It's important to know what your partner want out of life. It's important to know sexual history because you don't want to find out later that your partner likes both sexes. You need to take time to study your partner because they could be crazy and trying to hide it. You definitely want to know if you're dealing with a violent person. It's just important.
Woo!
And yeah.
Whoa, whoa. Listen, he got a lot packed up in here.
Mhm.
He got a lot packed in here. And he's right about a lot of this. You really do have to take your time to get to know a person. That's why I say that dating should be dating, because if you spend a whole lot of time dating this one person and then you figure out that this person is like violent, crazy, because people can hide a lot of their personality for a very long time. Everybody comes with their best presentation first. You got to get beyond those layers. You really, really do. So I agree with him here. I do want to know, like I agree with Cash where he said the body count doesn't matter. It's more about their sexual health. It's more about the sexual health for me. I want to know the sexual health. The body count, I don't want to know. And particularly, if you're of a particular age, we not virgins out here. We got kids. You know what I'm saying? So at this state, I'm not really expecting to find a virgin, so that's very unrealistic. So more than anything is really about sexual health. I'm not getting into numbers. Now, I will say this. I would like to know if the person has dated someone that I know. Like, I don't really want to date someone who has been with one of my friends. That's kind of, that's a little turn off for me. It's just something I find a little too close for comfort and borderline gross.
I'm glad you said that because that was going to be my question. I was going to ask the question, if you had a relationship with someone and the relationship did not work out, but then their friend know that you was with this person, but they ask you to date you. And I'm looking because I'm asking this question because this happened to me recently. And I was upset about it because, for one, you knew I had a relationship with your friend. For two, why you want to go behind your friend? And for three, what makes you think that's okay? And then I also felt disrespected because why, if you know that I had love for this person, I I, I just I just was curious about that. That it kind of I ain't gonna lie, I was pissed off about it, and I
Yeah.
wanted to say some some choice words, but I had to pause,
Hmm.
take a minute, take a breath, and just left it alone. But I'm like, why would you even go there if you knew I was in love with this person, and you had the audacity to say to me, "I want to date you," and you knew how I felt about this person, and to
Hmm.
make it so bad. No, I better not say that because people may know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I just was taken back by it.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, some things just kind of, I'm not gonna fault anyone who does that, because if it didn't work out with those that particular couple and they realize it didn't work for them, I don't obviously they're gonna date other people. It's just not something that I like for myself, because as much as I can have a love for my girlfriend, and we're good girlfriends or whatever the case may be, there's some things that I don't want to share. You know what
Right,
I mean? And
right.
that's just one of those things. And I just I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even really want to be friends per se with one of my friends' exes, unless we were just like really friends before they got involved in a relationship. You know what I mean? That just kind of gets tricky and kind of gets, that's a sticky situation. So I try to make sure that I don't get myself involved with that. Now, before we get too far away from what we were talking about in terms of the sexual health and the body count, like, we really confirmed that, maybe the body count is not as big of the issue. And I gotta say, I was surprised to hear a man say that the body count didn't matter to him, that it was more about the sexual health. So I think that was pretty cool, because I know that as women, we often think that ourselves. And I don't know if it's because we just naturally assume that men have a high body count. So we don't necessarily, it's not as important to us because we know they out here doing it, but we want them to come to us. And not bring us any diseases. Don't bring us any STIs. We don't want to keep spreading things. Be careful. Have that conversation. Have that conversation with people. That's the most respectful thing that you can do. But besides besides sexual health, because we are of a certain age, I want to say that their overall health and wellness is important to me. I want to know, like, what type of physical health they're in. Like, do they have high blood pressure? Like, what type of medical conditions they might have. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of serious medical conditions you might have, because that's important to know in these later stages of life, because will some of these things become debilitating? I need to know
Yes,
that. We need to know that, because I need to know, like, what type of care is going to be expected, and what will you need, and how can we keep you healthy, or maintain a certain level of health. Don't you want to know that?
absolutely. Because in long term, will you be willing to take care of that person if they fall ill?
Mhm.
Because that's the question that that's another question that I ask as well, is about their overall health. Because I have to put myself in a position, because I've seen friends of mine be in relationships, and they're their husband or wife became totally dependent on them. And I see sometimes it could be stressful, especially when you are taking care of people around the clock. I've seen it happen, and I had to ask myself, if I date someone and they fall ill, would I be willing to? Because in some cases, some had to actually quit their jobs
Mhm.
to care for their partner, like long term, like a 24-hour care.
Right.
And I saw another where they worked, but they had to also provide a 24, make sure nurses in the home to take care of them. And it's a lot, because it's a lot.
It's
I've
a
seen,
lot.
and then you saw that couple. I can't know the couple, but there's a couple that's very popular on Instagram. His wife had I think a brain aneurysm and a stroke, and they were like always out and about. And he quit his job, but he loves his wife. He talks to his wife as if she's still able to do all the things that they used to do. And I found that admirable, because everybody's not going to do that. Some
No.
people are quick to put people in a nursing home, but he's taking care of his wife. And
Right.
I think that's very admirable. And I keep asking myself, would I be able to do that? But I think that if it's the right person and it's real love, I think that I would.
Mhm.
So seeing stories like that, they really encourage me and inspire me. But we have to think about long term. We
You
really do.
do. But see, the situation that you talked about just now, we're talking about relationships that are mature relationships. They've taken it further than dating. I
Yeah,
don't
that's what
believe
they were. They're married. Yeah,
I
they're
know.
married.
I
Yeah.
got that, but this is
Okay.
my point. This is
Okay.
my point. So in the dating stage, you want to ask those questions and know what their health like. So if they have certain health issues, like, would you not continue to date them because if they had high blood pressure, if it's a person who might have seizures, someone who might have kidney failure, what if it's someone who happens to be on dialysis? Like, you need to
Oh, I see
know
what you're
that
saying. So you mean, oh, I see what you're saying. So you mean, if you're in the dating process and you find out they have a long what do you call it?
debilitating
Yeah.
condition.
Would you continue to pursue that relationship?
Right.
Okay.
Hmm.
Ooh, now
But I
the
think
answer to that question, depending on the illness, now, when you put it that way, asking it that way, certain things, if I know that beforehand, I don't think I would pursue.
mhm.
Depending on the situation, I probably wouldn't, knowing that beforehand. But I misinterpreted earlier. I was thinking, like, if you was already in a relationship, would you leave that
No.
person? Yeah.
What you said was very important, and I
Okay.
agree with that, and I'm glad you shared that. Nothing that you said was wrong. I just asked I just put a brick on that. We're continuing the conversation. I wanted to know, what type of questions are you asking? And because the health and wellness questions need to be asked. You need to
Mhm.
know what's going on with them health-wise, because like I said, they could be on like, what medications are they on and for what? Certain medications cause certain problems for people. Let's be real about this. I know that I am of a particular age, and I'm of an age where men who are within my actual age, my dating age range, if they are on some of these medications, let's just put this thing out here. Let's not beat around the bush. It causes certain sexual problems for them. It causes a lot of ED issues. So, are at these ages, are you willing to date and continue to pursue a relationship with a man who has erectile dysfunction? Does that play an issue? Like, you have to ask those questions because you got to be fair and you got to be honest with yourself. Are you going to be able to continue that type of relationship?
Wait a minute, you asking me that question, or you
I'm
asking me that
asking
question?
anybody out there who wants to answer that question, but it's something that actually happens.
Well, answering that question, that's easy for me to answer. I could definitely, stay with someone if they have ED. That wouldn't bother me. But some other things that wouldn't bother me per se, because yeah, that wouldn't bother me at all. Even though some people like, that definitely wouldn't bother me at all.
Mhm,
But some
mhm.
of the other stuff probably would.
But you would wanna know. I think it's
Yeah.
important for you to know that before you get in a situation that could potentially lead you to feel like you're about to engage in an activity. Wouldn't you want to know that beforehand?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely.
I want the conversation
Hmm.
before I have to find out.
Yeah, definitely,
You
definitely.
know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
And Showtime, DJ Showtime says, "Love you, Tori. Keep up the wonderful work and wonderful blessings to you as well as Tanya." Thank you so much, DJ Showtime. And At Your Service Media says, "Good to hear both of your voices. I'll be trying my best to tune in. Well, whenever you're able to tune in, we love to have you. So thank you for tuning in."
Yeah, that's our boy Cash.
And then At Your Service Media says, "Oh yeah, Cash. It all depends on the level of friendship and how close they are to you." Now, that is huge for me. That's why when you were saying earlier about the ED, like if we're friends and we're close friends, that really doesn't matter, because for me, when you're not engaging in activities, sometimes you get to know a person better, because a lot of times when you're engaging in activities, it kind of clouds your judgment.
Hmm.
And when you're not doing that, then you can see that person for who they really are. Because I'm telling you, oh Lord have mercy, my judgment have been clouded on some people. That's why I said I don't even worry about that part. But that is so important. What Cash said, it depends on the level of the friendship. If the friendship, if I'm if I'm good friends with somebody, I'm going to show up and be there for them. I'm going to make sure they have what they need and do what I can. And matter of fact, speaking of friendships, this is what I want to tell you. I thought about this before we even went live. We actually did a podcast last week on friendships. I wanted to tell you publicly, Miss Tanya, that you are such an amazing friend. You are loyal, you are true. So I wanted to say that. I want to throw that out there since he brought up friendship. It's very important to have people in your life that are authentic.
Yeah.
And you are one of those people. So I had to say that.
Well, that goes both ways, and I thank you for that. Thank you. I received it. I received that. Um,
Yes.
I got you. I also wanted to say, like, you know, when it comes to that particular thing, I want to know, like, how important friendships, since we're here in the friendship conversation, I want to know how important friendships are to that particular person. Like, what type of friendships and bonds do they have with their boys? I need to know that. Like, how do they hang out? Like, just to have an idea of that, what that looks like. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Because I'm
mhm,
not
and
expecting anyone to give me all of their time. Like, how do they balance that? What are their social activities that they do and that they like to enjoy?
ooh, that's a good one. And okay, let me ask you this question, Tanya. So, if you are in a relationship with someone and you see, or you try to tell them, warn them about their friends, how, I mean, how do I word the question? Basically, if you see for yourself, because sometimes we see things that people don't see,
Mhm.
and you try to warn them about certain friends, and they look at you like you crazy. Like, there's one relationship I was in previously, and I was like, "Yo, they're not your friend." And later on, after we had, it broke up, they came in and told me later, "Tori, you was right." It's because
Mhm.
it's like I saw it, and this person, and I literally had, and I believe in dreams as well. I had a dream about this person, and I saw the friends that I was trying to warn them about. In the dream, these people were snakes around them. And I tried to warn him, but he didn't listen. And
Mhm.
so after we broke up, it was like one of the things that played a part in of us disconnecting as well. Because your friends, like you said, you spend time with your friends, but you don't spend all day long with your friends. Like, say for example, you come get off work that morning, you say you're gonna cook dinner, but I don't see you again till 9, 10 o'clock that night. Like, you spend all day long with your friends, and then you have the audacity to get upset with me if I get myself something to eat.
Hmm.
Had I waited on you to cook for me, I would have been starving with the white mouth. But that was one of the things that's important to me. You pay attention to the type of friends that they have, and sometimes the type of friends that they have some in some cases that can be a deal breaker for me as well. But when you're in a relationship, back to the question I was asking, do you warn them if you see something? Do you warn them about their friends, or you just let them find out on their own?
Well, here's what I want to say about that, because you are talking about once you're in a relationship with the person. And I was kind of focusing on when we are getting to know a person. The reason why I want to know about their friends is because oftentimes, if I can look at their friends, like they say, birds of a feather flock together.
Mm.
So if I can look at your friend group, I feel like that's telling me a lot about you. When I can get an idea of how you guys hang out, how you guys, the things that you do, the activities that you do together. I don't want to come in between that because I'm just getting to know you, right? So
Mhm.
I just want to be able to observe that. I want to know what those friendships are like, because you're supposed to have friends. I want you to have friends outside of me if we're talking about a relationship at this point. Okay. But getting to know this person and asking the questions and learning, just trying to figure out who they are. Yeah. I want to know who some of their friends are. I'd like to have a general idea of some of the things that they do, not in an interrogative way, but like I say, when you see who someone's friends are, it tells you a lot about them. Now,
Mhm.
should it progress into something else and we build a relationship, um, I'm probably still not gonna get so involved in their friendship because I want you to have friends. I'm not getting ready to be your 24/7, 7 days a week. You need to be doing something else, because I have a whole life. I want you to have a whole life. The idea is that I am sharing something a little bit more intimate with you that obviously I'm not sharing with my friends. And so that's what that is about. And I like to go out with my friends and go places. I go on vacations with my friends. So if we're being adults here, I need you to just, who your friends are, who your friends are. How you treat me is going to be the most important thing, you know? Because if we made it into this relationship, I have a pretty good idea of what type of friend you are. And I obviously I'm comfortable with that because I've decided to take it further. But I almost wanna say no. I'm not gonna do that, and also, I am of a particular age that if you have certain friends who are a certain way and they are that way, well, that very well could just be your friends. Because 'Cause I'm gonna be honest, I happen to have friends who have personalities that are very different from mine. And although they're still my good friends. They do things that I do not do. I am there for them in ways that has nothing to do with things that they do with other friends that have nothing to do with me. So that's a little tricky area for me. I'm not getting ready to police your friends. I'm not that type of girlfriend or person that you are in a relationship with. Have your friends. You gonna need friends because I don't really want you up under me all the time. I want to love you when I love you, and you gonna know that. But we got a whole life, you know.
Ooh, I start laughing as you was talking like so. Oh, Cash says it all depends on the level of friendship and how close they are to you. Um, oh, the next comment because we read that one already.
Okay.
12:4. And Sanford says, if you love the person you're with, leaving them if they are unable to care for themselves would never enter your mind. Remember, you're not just in love with their physical, you're also loving their spirit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the
Absolutely.
person you're in a relationship with. We're just getting to know you, and I'm not. That's not what I want to buy. Then
Mhm.
I'm doesn't necessarily. I'm not getting
Yeah.
ready to break your heart because we're not in a relationship. We're getting to know each other. Hadn't gotten that far, and that might not be something that I want to take on or they want to take on. You know, and that
Mhm.
I think it's fair, and that's fair to know, because if something happened to you and then that person is not there, and you could have been dating someone who cares and who is sensitive to that, you know, stop wasting people time. That's not what you in for. That's not your cup of tea. You're not trying to be the night nurse. There's nothing wrong with that. And that is why we're dating. That's why we're asking these questions. That's why we're trying to figure out who is best for me. So you got to figure this thing out. All of the questions that you ask, that's going to reveal like what your relationship expectations are, what your compatibility factors are. You can't ask too much. If a person, like if I'm asking questions, which like I said, I'm not going to try to make a person feel like they're being interrogated, because I feel like, there's a way to get information. I'm not getting ready to just have a laundry list of questions I'm asking you on the first date, but I'm going to ask some key things. I'm going to ask some key things within conversation, and that's going to build. That's just important to me. I need to know what those family dynamics are. Um, I need to know what type of cultural or religious or what type of traditional beliefs you hold. That's going to be very important. What is your educational background? All of those things, some of those questions that it might sound like, the typical questions, but you need to ask. Don't assume things. You know, I see.
Right.
Yeah.
And Cash says, "Wish you had a longer show." I know, right?
I know because
This hour go by so
uh,
fast. Oh my
it
goodness, it
does.
does. And his question, I think his comment when he says, "Yes, she definitely is." I think he was talking about when I was saying to you that how you're an amazing friend. I think that's what he was talking. That's what that comment means. Yes,
Oh,
she definitely is. Yeah, I think that what that comments. Yeah.
thank you, Cash.
And Stephanie says, "Good afternoon, beautiful people. Good afternoon, Stephanie. What's up?"
Hey, girl. Hey,
She said, "I'm late to the party."
you are.
Yeah, you late. We about to leave the party.
But there's this thing called, you can hit play on that replay. Just go back down that timeline and hear what we had to say. You can still get in. We go back and read the
Yeah.
comments and engage in the comments. So you still a part of the conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you so much for joining in with us. It's always good to see you in the place.
All right.
But I was laughing earlier when you were saying, I was like taking a reflection of myself when you said when I was talking about the friends thing, you was like, wait a minute, I'm not gonna police the friends. And I started asking myself, well, Tori, are you a little bit, is that toxic? Are you a little toxic and you don't know it? So I started laughing when you said those are friends. I'm not gonna be policing. I was like, so I started asking myself because I pay attention to people, friends. Not only this, and Tanya, I'm probably doing too much, but I also pay attention to things that people post on social media, things that they share, things that are inappropriate. I pay attention to all of that. So am I doing too much?
Listen, no, I don't think that you are. I feel like that's a way of getting questions answered that you didn't even ask.
Right. Okay.
You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? So
I feel better.
I'm gonna say no. I feel like going to their, if they're on social media and you have an opportunity to go on there and get a little information, I feel like it's very valuable information, because you really can tell a lot about a person, just like you said, by the comments that they make, the things that they comment on, the things that they share. I think it is very telling who is within their friend group. Are all of their friends or everybody they're following, in bikinis? Yeah, that's going to tell you something. So, I think that's important.
Okay.
I do.
Cause I will scan a social media page.
Hmm. I'm telling you, that really is important. But I just
Okay.
happen to, for me, believe it or not, men that I go out with typically are not on socials, or put it like this. They behind a different wall. They don't have their own personal accounts. If they're on, they lurking.
Okay.
I'm
The
just saying
lurker.
if they are. No, I'm saying if they are. But most
Yeah.
men that I date are typically not really, they don't really have social pages. They're not really on social media like that.
Okay. I feel you. Okay, that's
So
cool.
yeah, so the reason why I say if they are, they lurking, because
Okay.
I'm not gonna because some people do that. Let's be honest. So I'm not, saying that, hey, they're above social media. They're just not interested in having a profile. They're not interested in that day to day of what's going on in social media. That's just typically not the type of personality of that I am attracted to, if you can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you. I
Yeah.
got you.
But yeah, just a whole lot of things. I think we covered quite a few things, but there's a whole lot more that we could get into. I want to know like things I want to know is like how they resolve conflict. I want to get a little bit of insight in how they resolve and navigate through potential conflicts or disagreements. That's something that I want to know.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great one, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I wanna
that's a
know that.
great
I
one.
wanna know, like I also wanna know, how they get along with their siblings, like what the dynamics of those relationships are like, because that also offers some type of insight into, like, what their social skills are like and their ability to cooperate with others, because if you can't even get along with your own brothers and sisters, which there are people, I understand that, but I wanna know the dynamics of that, so I
Mhm.
ask questions around that.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Wow, it's been an hour already. Ooh.
Yes. It has, and it's time for us to go. Maybe we could probably talk about this again. This is a subject that we could, all of these conversations, there's always a larger conversation because there's just, you know,
So
that's
many
what a
moving
conversation is.
parts.
Yeah. That's just what a conversation is.
Yeah, yeah.
You have a call on line one. You know, you need to know those
I
friends who gonna
yeah, I
call
think
you
you might
when
wanna take that.
like, first of all, okay, yeah. The podcast is from 12 to 1, and I'd be damned if they don't call me exactly at 1. Can I log off? That's all I wanna know. What about your
Ooh.
friends? Now up here texting me. You should have been listening to the podcast. Now see, what kind of friend are you? Because if you was listening to the podcast, you would know that I was still on air.
Oh, goodness. Lord have mercy,
Mm,
Jesus.
Lord have mercy.
Woo, but anyway, let's breathe it on out. It's been fun. This has been a great conversation. I'm looking forward to the continuation of this conversation. But with that being said, I'm out, you guys. Thank you so much for everyone that took time of your schedule to join us. It's always a pleasure for the interaction in the comments. But I'm out until next Tuesday. Y'all be easy, be blessed, and have a blessed remainder of your week. I'm out.
All right, lady. Always good to have Tori in the building. And she told you it's time for us to get out of here, my friends. All my good people. Because we done reached the end of our chat today. I hope you found our discussion on asking questions and getting to know someone when dating informative and enjoyable. Remember that dating is a journey, not a destination. And it's all about finding that unique connection with another person. So let me just say this. As you go out here and as you embark on your dating adventures, keep in mind that asking questions is a powerful tool. Okay? This is a tool that you need, a powerful tool for building trust, fostering intimacy, and discovering the depths of someone. Because you need to know. So be genuine, be curious, and most importantly, be yourself. Y'all got this. Get out here and ask those questions and share your information. Be honest. All right. Share your dating experiences. Let people know what's going on with you. Let them know what you want so you don't get involved and have false expectations or give off the wrong messages because we're not out here to hurt people's feelings. We out here to learn and we out here to love. And the world needs a whole lot more love, and we got love to give. All right, get back to your work. I don't want anybody to lose their job. It's been a great lunch break, and we call it the noontime my time. What we get ready to do? You know what we get ready to do. Let's do some breath work. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold a few seconds. Exhale. And hold that a few seconds. Inhale one more time. Hold a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. And don't you feel great? I feel great. I appreciate you guys. And if nobody gave you a smile today, if nobody smiled today, you just close your eyes and give yourself a big smile and see how that feels for you. All right? Y'all be great out here. It's what we do. One love, y'all.